we can actually, let me make sure it's going to go through. Yeah, I'll just bring it up. I'll just follow my lead.
Yeah.
Follow my lead. We got one person in the Zoom room, Marie Iverson, our dear friend from Sweden, and we're live on Facebook now.
Cool.
So this is a special edition. We'll roll the show out in just a couple of minutes. This is a special edition Soul Speaks 5D impromptu, the ones I like the best. Spontaneous, in the flow. And I'm really excited because I really enjoyed our last conversation. And then I was a little bit disappointed because you were going to be busy. I wanted to get together again, and here we are. So it worked out okay.
Well, what's funny is I actually have some pictures to share with everyone from my trip
to Egypt. Yeah, that's right. You went to Egypt. Another friend of mine on the island here went to Egypt. Right, I think when we were actually doing the show, she was already over there. She was on yesterday, actually, telling us about what happened over there. It was pretty interesting. She got to go to some places that aren't typically allowed. In fact, she couldn't take pictures or show the pictures she had because it could get the guy fired. But she had some incredible experiences over there. Sekhmet, tomb of Sekhmet, I think is where she went. I might be getting the names confused because she dropped a few gods and goddesses names I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, Sekhmet. She actually, when I was in her tomb, she actually swallowed me whole, and I came out the other side of her.
Well, my friend, when she was in there, it came to her, and what did it say? Pulled out a sword from her. It was like one of her. What did she say? She pulled out a sword from my friend and held it in front of her and didn't say anything, and then split the sword in half with her consciousness and said something about all you need is your will. And then she disappeared. So very real stuff. Hello, Karen Starr, Tio Guadalupe, Shanine, Banrion. She said alpha. She meant aloha. Primi Hago, Aaron Lee, Jenny Smith, Doreen Kinney. Let's see. Corey Akursi. Aloha to you. Mary Cooper, Rob Eden, Geraldine, our friend from Ireland, Pia Holland, Denise Chadwick, Shannon Rose Karana, and Jania Gazda. If these shows resonate with you, please share more than ever. We're kind of being suppressed a little bit again, but we'll get through it. And thank you all for your continued love and support and contributions. It allows us to keep doing what we're doing every day by the seat of our pants, and that is the way this transition seems to be working. We're all going by the seat of our pants because there's no directions, there's no owner's manual. Hello, Gaia Man, and Nicole Dominique, and Pia Halamar Dato, something like that. I'll do my best. We have our beautiful, beloved sister, Robin Haywood, back. If you guys didn't see that first show, I would highly recommend that you go to Facebook or YouTube and just Google, just search for Soul Speaks 5D, Todd Medina, and Robin Haywood, and it'll come up under videos. It was a very, very good video. And this morning I received a message from Robin. I had asked her if you want to go back on after the other show, and she said she was going to Egypt and she'd get back with me later. And then today she gave me a message telling me in real time, I think it was 12:39 EST, you were downloading and writing it down as you were downloading. Do you have time for a show? I said, absolutely, let's do it. So I'm excited to see what your trip at Egypt was like and what this transmission this morning was about, because it really, really resonated with me.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just setting the grid and the space here, because we still, there's still this wobble going on. Maybe it's just my wobble, but I also feel it in the outside as well. So just setting the structure and the template, just the sacred space, the container. Yeah. The field of love.
I think there is a wobble. We've been talking about it on the show the last few days, and I think it has to do with all of this abundant energy of abundance, in all its different facets, available to us now, and it's staying. It's not like coming and going. It's actually staying, and it's taking a little getting used to. And it does cause us to go back and forth, flip-flop a little bit. But the good news, it's here, and we're all picking up on the energy, and there's a new synergy in the air, symbiotic frequency where people are starting to collaborate and co-create. And in the spontaneous moment, such as this.
Yeah. So thank you for saying yes today. You know what? I was getting a hit last week. I don't remember. I think it was the 24th, maybe. And something was coming in, and then I got sidetracked, and like my whole day went sideways because I didn't reach out to you and say, "Hey, can you do something today?"
That was probably the day I was on my hands and knees in the park, dry heaving, and dealing with some last, vestiges of shadow that came up right after the full moon.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened. Your higher self probably said, "No, not today. Let's do it next week."
Yeah. And then yesterday, I was feeling it yesterday too, but then something was like, no, not yet. So yeah, this opening that opened up, I recognize it as the higher aspects of myself, of all of us. And I'm like, the mothership. Okay, I've not heard this before. What is this? But I've been hearing something internally, and it's the word she, like she.
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 Yeah.
And I've been hearing it for a while. And oftentimes when I'm driving here in New Hampshire, it'll come in. And so I know that I'm like gritting something. But yeah, the channel, I don't know, the channel that came through, this morning. So for those of you posted it right on the Facebook?
Yeah, I posted it on the announcement, and I also posted it on the text of this live itself. So, and this is actually, you wrote it's 12:39 EST, receiving real-time intel, and then the mothership has landed. Yeah. I'll let you take it from there. What was happening when this came in? Were you meditating, or just popped in?
It just popped in. Yeah, it just popped in. So we know how this works. So all of the light codes in there for each of us to receive for our highest good, and however we integrate that and however it resonates with us. But what I was also shown then after, it's actually it came up from the ocean, in the Pacific Ocean, as well as from above. So I don't quite have all the pieces fully comprehended on a human level. But what I saw was just this big white ship coming up from the ocean.
Wow. From the Pacific.
Yeah, out in the Pacific. So the South Pacific. So it seems like it's in between Hawaii, Australia, in that area. And then as well as, I'll call it the mothership, syncing up with that and fine-tuning that area. That's the best way that I can describe it.
Wow.
So, and I don't recall if I put it on the actual transmission in the post, but what was coming in as well is this.
Yeah, you know what? I think I can actually pull that up. I've got that.
Do you?
Yeah, let me see if I can get it up there so you can see it and the audience can see it. Let's see.
Cool.
Robin. Oh, there you go. Oop. Here we go. Okay, so here it is. And can I make it bigger? Let me make it bigger. Yeah, so, and what kind of messages? Oh, you're going to need to use this. Let's see. All right. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, I can make it bigger. I can turn it too. Let's see. Okay, here we go. All right. So let me go back to Zoom and go here, and then share, and here we go. Okay. All right. How's that?
Oh, cool. Yeah. So what's kind of cut off there. So this was a diagram that also came in then after the written transmission, and it came from Antares. So what I got, and I've not connected in with to that part before, to Antares, as well as Solaris A and B, and Andromeda was also encoded in there. I don't have the full, composition and understanding of it all yet, but what I do know is there's a gateway, a portal, a stargate, a space, whatever words you want to call it, that is being anchored in to assist all of the new incoming souls into the planet. So it's coming into, you can see up there in the corner there.
Point A and B, the top right.
No, it's actually over here where it says it's pure light. It's pure light entry point. And so it's bringing in
right
new heaven and earth.
Yeah.
Right. And you can see where I wrote she.
Yes.
There. And what I got from that is she represents, so it's a wave.
Yes.
It's the feminine, it's the masculine, it's the creation. So, in the transmission, in the post, it talks about really about the mother being the point of creation.
I was trying to recall today, I was on a previous show and we were talking about creation, sacred sexual vibration, sacred union. And I kept telling my friend, I read something this morning. I shared quite a few things with the Soulogy group. And I said, I read something this morning and I can't find it. And I just realized it's what you wrote. And I think you should cover that because it was pretty resonant. And somebody already made a comment, invited a friend to the show because she had read what you wrote and said it really resonated with her.
So, so what I really received, and it's interesting how it's tied in to what's playing out now in terms of abortion, which that's a hot topic in itself, right?
Yeah.
But let's see. Just seeing where. So I'm going to read from this point. So from the galactic form and the formless, we are here to assist your ascension. We know that each one of us, and this is me just talking now, we all have it within us, and it's all of us accessing our own access point and fully remembering and bringing that forward, and then living and embodying that into this new earth plane, each in our own perfect time and our own perfect unique way, which is beautiful because it's also diverse.
Yeah. I love this part. This heaven on earth is pure bliss. And this is the state from which our true mother designed for us. Our mother, not the father, is the designer. Of course, as you know from your stories, you have a man and a woman or a male and a female to make and form creation. This is true as on earth as so in heavens. We create from the female. This is the part I really love. It is her desire of creation that begins the spark for all to bear witness to. All of creation bears witness to her creation. The creation of all the stars and all the heavens are dreamt from her. As she dreams, our Father who art in heaven delivers her dream. He seeds her creation into form, the formless into form. Yeah.
Woo! Feeling that.
That's powerful, man. That's it. That's the basic sacred geometric equation. That's an understatement, actually.
Yeah.
Antares. Now, I've noticed, I've not real been big on the stars. Started with Sirius 3 or 4 years ago. I went along my path, and then particularly when I got to Hawaii, there was this thing shown to me, and it went Andromeda to Sirius to Orion's belt, to Aldebaran, the Pleiades. Then, as Morgan came back about 30 days ago, we started going for the walk. The sky was different from before she had left. And what was really standing out was Jupiter and whatever the constellation that involves Antares. Because I looked it up with the sky map. And so now when I go out at night, even last night, I see Jupiter, then I saw Antares. So I don't know if that's relevant, but I've been seeing it.
Yeah, but it's funny because I actually I've just been tuning into them. I haven't actually been able to be seeing them in the sky, but yeah, I was looking up today because I didn't know a whole lot about Antares, but it's related to the Scorpion or Scorpio.
Yeah, which we just went through the Scorpio full moon, right?
We did. So my sense as I was feeling into it more, and my sense, my sense about it is that it's in full transformation.
And what do you mean?
Like, well, my sense of it is that it's let's see what the words are. Explode.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds legit.
It's about to explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soraya Williams says Scorpius is the constellation. Must be the constellation that I'm talking about.
Scorpius.
And I can tell you, I know what it looks like because it jumped out at me.
Yeah. So I don't know what that exactly what that definition. That's why the English language is so limiting sometimes. Explode and orgasmic is what I'm feeling. It's like it's ready to birth and birth and birth or rebirth, transform, transmute, send waves of
Ecstasy.
Photon light with, I don't know, I was just hearing that. So so I'm curious on this, call it this diagram or that I drew. It'll be interesting to see what additional information comes in on that. But my sense of what I know right now is that it's setting the template or setting the assistance for what is to be birthed.
Now you're saying that these two starships aligned with each other in some type of preparation for the souls that were coming to the earth, the new souls, right?
Right.
Okay. And then this lower right-hand corner, it says resource your own energy. Do you have any more detail on that?
The only thing that I have on that is that it's a message for us to each to continue to go within.
Yeah.
To go within. We may see these posts from other people. There may be bits and pieces in it always for us, right? Because we're all connected on some level, but always go within. The message is always resource everything from within.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one of the things that I'm, I guess, becoming aware of more for myself and even embracing even more is part of my mission here is to help brigade, to help bring the light in for the new incoming births.
Yeah. Now, do you think your trip to Egypt recently was related to what you're receiving now?
I do, actually. So my first trip to Egypt was in October of 2017. And when I got back from there, I heard that the next time I went back, that I had to go to Saqqara Temple. So this particular journey, spiritual journey that I went on with a group of 13 other spiritual, people. And Saqqara was one of the step pyramids. So are you familiar with them?
Is that one of the three pyramids with the Sphinx, or is it a different pyramid?
It's a different pyramid. Let me see if I can get a picture of it.
So this is what was the name of it? Oh, there you go. Oh, wow. And what's it called? What's it called again?
Saqqara.
Saqqara.
Or the step pyramid. So it's, gosh, I don't know, 50, 60 miles maybe outside of Egypt. I mean, of Cairo.
Yeah.
And it was very apparent once I stepped foot out of the bus that not only did I have lifetimes there, but I was also opening and sending out energy that had been anchored. I'll say anchored into. There's a tomb there. It's called Maya's tomb, and she was the nanny to King Tut, or the nursemaid to King Tut. And I'm not sure how long that tomb's been open, but as soon as we went into the tomb, I started receiving all the information and how King Tut was so related to the Christ codes, or the Christed energy. And that was part of the first point of it anchoring in, or really, I guess amplifying. And while I was in the tomb, I had a big light language download come in, and it was like I cleared the thing out, activated what needed to be activated, and then shot the energy straight out the temple door, and it exploded out into the out into the ethers. So it was pretty amazing energy. Yeah, so I definitely feel it's related to this diagram.
Yeah. I haven't heard Antares until today. I've obviously seen it in the sky, and I researched it. Obviously this has been going on for however long the stars have been there. They're speaking to us. A few days ago, Morgan was looking up one night. We were walking, and she said, "I'm seeing it totally different now. I can see these lines going across the sky. I can see the shapes of the different constellations." And then it happened to me 2 nights ago. It's like the veil's thinning. Our ability to communicate with what we're looking at is getting sharper and clearer.
Yeah, because the corruption, it's like the corruption. I mean, that's what I'm hearing too, is it's like the corruption has been removed from the shadows of what's even been in the constellations that have been available to us to see.
Yeah.
But again, with all of that, it's like going into that space of celebration.
Yeah. I've been feeling that. Yesterday particularly. And yesterday was Ascension Day in the Netherlands. They actually call it Ascension Day.
Yeah, they do in France too.
Wow.
Because my husband works for a French company, and he was like, "Oh yeah, they're off Thursday and Friday for Ascension."
When are we going to get that holiday in America? Although we got July 4th coming up, in 34, 35 days, and that seems to be carrying some type of energy. I'm already feeling that. I think I've seen people talking about it too.
Yeah, I would agree. And I'm also feeling something with the middle of July.
Yeah. Is it July? I believe it's July. There are 2 eclipses. I think somebody was on the show saying it was Allison Engel who comes on Saturdays, and she does the depth astrology, her own download that she received, and she said there's one. I think one is coming on. One's lunar and one's solar.
Right.
And one's coming around the 6th, and I think the other one around the 18th or 19th.
So too. Yeah, because I was talking with a friend of mine the other day, and I was like, I think I need to go to Shasta. I'm feeling like I need to be in Shasta middle of July, and we were talking about that. And as we were talking, the energy started building, and she lives in Northern California. It's like, oh, I think there's going to be something there.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of stuff everywhere. The way things are looking. But there's definitely these power points. You know, you bring up the South Pacific with this ship coming up, and what you got this morning, the South Pacific, and then I was reminded, I think yesterday, that this particular island, Kauai, is considered the place on the east side in Anahola where souls enter or birth to the planet, and then the west side where they leave the planet. And I didn't know this, but that even in the Dalai Lama has said, even in the old ancient Tibetan books, they cite Kauai and those 2 facts, and that when he came here, those were the 2 places he wanted to go.
Wow.
So this South Pacific, I think, is definitely one of the power points. Australia, I think that's interesting too, that you said it was between Hawaii and Australia. And of course, Shasta and the Tor and so many other places around the world. The pyramids in Bosnia have been real prominent over the last 2-3 years. And even that place in Turkey that I can't recall the name. But so, I mean, what does this mean to you? How do you feel about the transmission you got today? Do you feel like something's imminent?
Oh yeah. Definitely. Joyfully. Just amazingly.
Yeah. I was doing a show yesterday. Yes, yesterday. I can't remember. I was doing a show with Jed Riverstone, and you know, oftentimes different aspects are presenting themselves while I'm talking to people. But it was really fun. I was laughing through the whole show because there was about 40 or 50 aspects, energies, entities, whatever you want to call it, and they were presenting themselves almost like cartoons, kind of like Teletubbies or Banana Splits. You know, they were like kind of in those type of costumes, and they all had their hands in the air. They were all laughing. They were all celebrating, and that was the whole kind of message. It was just a very gleeful kind of thing. So I'm sure that was representative of the energy that's probably the same thing you're talking about, really.
Yeah, this real just playful. You know, when I tune in, I know, you know, one of my aspects, my human self tends to be real serious sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, that I'm working through that conditioning of that. And when I tune in deeper, it's like, oh my God, there's so much joy and fucking just goodness, juiciness underneath this that's coming in. It's amazing. It's amazing. And the way that I'm feeling, the way that it feels to me, there's so much animal. There's so much, I mean, the whales, but all of it's like all of the animals are like amped up is the way that I'm feeling about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny. You know, here in Kauai, they have the roosters and the chickens run free. You know, they run free all over the island, and they're protected. And I think it was around the full moon this month, around the 18th or 17th. It was not dark yet. It was still probably like 5 o'clock. And I walked over to the parking lot from the beach, and there was a cat laying down next to a rooster. And I thought, that doesn't even make sense. Because the only thing that there's more of than cats on this island are roosters. But yeah, I think they are. They definitely are. I see it in the birds here.
Yeah.
People talked about their dogs and cats. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Something.
Yes, it feels just so amazing. So amazing.
Now, have you received any other intel recently in regard to collective occurrences or collective awakening?
Well, yes, I can't remember any offhand.
That's the way it works, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. You know, I still get quite a bit of like the shithole, I guess I'll call it, of what's being cleared out in humanity. I know last week, or I don't know exactly when it was, but you know, I was sensing there was this real piece of work that was being done on the collective level of I would say men forgiving their mothers.
Mm,
There was this really deep piece of both resentment and anger and that I was feeling. And underneath it was just this beautiful opening for forgiveness.
yeah. Well, that's a big one. That hits home.
It was, yeah, really big. And I'm feeling more and more and more that masculine essence holding, you know, holding that container even more for each of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
To play.
It seemed like with this Scorpio moon, now I'm acting like I know astrology because I don't, but I understood that the Scorpio moon was a very much about sexual energy and presenting the polarities. And then, and you know, and there was a period there where everybody was like in bliss, like for a day. You know, we were in bliss over here, and then all of a sudden the shit hit the fan.
Right.
And it seemed to be a very deep, maybe the original masculine wound. And now that you bring up the masculine, you're feeling the masculine forgiving the mother, you know, and that pretty much to me would be about as far as you could, about as deep as you could go with it, wouldn't it? Because if you could reconcile that, I think that would take care of everything else.
I would think so. Yeah. But it was feeling intense. It was feeling very intense to me when that was happening. And I think it was actually when I was in the city. I was in New York City over the weekend, packing up my youngest son's stuff and bringing him home for the summer. And I was with my husband and my brother-in-law, and being in the city, and it was like, holy shit. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, it's like, oh, feeling all this, you know, the intensity of all of that.
Yeah.
And at one point on Sunday, I just lost it. I just broke down and started crying and just, you know, releasing all that. So yeah, it's part of the process, you know, these
You getting something? Are you getting something? I'm getting something.
yeah.
I'm not really quite clear on it. The maybe this is it. The role of the dolphins, the whales. I don't know much about that stuff. I'm just pulling out what's coming through here.
Keep pulling. Keep playing, Todd.
I think you're supposed to do this, not me.
I think this is a collaborative effort.
Yeah, it is. So it's like I don't know. It's, to me, it looks like the you know how dolphins jump out of the water in that half circle. So it's a full circle. You know, it's almost like the rings of the flower of life. You know, the circles, and they're just and then the whales are kind of like moving in between the circles. It looks like more celebration to me. More. And another thing that's popping in too is this whole thing. You know, Morgan brings it up. Sometimes uses the term circuitry, like the circuitry is all on now, like the whole the whole grid of the whole circuitry grid is lit up and like firing off at all points.
Hmm.
That's kind of
What you're sensing. Well, hearing you say that, it's, if you pull up the diagram again, it's making me
there you go.
yeah. So here, okay, so the way, so see the arrows, I was guided to draw the arrows in both directions. And so as you were bringing that through, what I'm sensing is that the dolphins and the whales, they're actually anchoring that in the ocean out there in both of those directions.
I see. Yeah, I see. And I wonder, is there any significance that she comes in that northeast or east northeast quadrant, or is she everywhere?
Well, I'm hearing she is where we are.
Yeah. And also over the last 10 days or so, I've noticed that people have been talking. I can't really say I understand it all about Lemuria, but particularly about Atlantis. Some type of energetic come to terms or balancing with Atlantis energy, and I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know for myself personally, I've gotten that I've personally balanced all of my Atlantis stuff.
Yeah.
So all of the distortions, there was a huge sexual abuse of power distortion that I found, I don't know, like a month ago. I don't remember exactly when it was, that was being all cleared out. So perhaps maybe there's some of that that's balancing out, that's cleansed and being washed away is what I'm hearing. It's
well, one thing that seems certain is that period you're talking about, even leading up to what you were getting about the son forgiving the mother, the masculine forgiving the mother. There were some very, very intense memories popping up and triggers and such in people on, during, and after that moon. That's continued to kind of like feather away now, but it seems like there was almost like some of the people that were on the show talked about like going through the eye of the needle and having to not being able to carry or fit through that needle with any excess stuff, almost like it was the deepest rooted shadows.
yeah, which comes up just to be loved.
Yeah.
And unified.
Yeah.
It's bringing it all to balance. It's bringing it all to harmony.
Yeah. So this transmission from this morning, it sounds like it definitely involves some galactic.
She's still coming in.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's building, so it's just anchoring in, it's just beginning to continue to amplify. I've been asking if some of these codes, because like I said, I definitely get that I'm working to help bring in the new souls so that they come in pure,
yeah,
if you will.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I've been asking, okay, so for some of us older folks that have been, trudging along, living the grind, how does that apply? How does that apply to us as well? And can we enter that access point? Can we also be rebirthed, new birthed into that, all of that presence that's coming in and through? And so like this codement, for example.
Yeah. So in other words, if that code is available and you're working as a conduit to deliver it, it's also available for those of us who are here presently.
Yes.
in some way. Yeah.
In some way.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing, well, yes, of course you can.
Mhm.
It's a matter of choice. It's a matter of what we allow and what feels right and in resonance for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just hearing the allowing is the receiving.
Yeah.
And reminding, I mean, there's no one way. There's no one way.
But yet all roads merge into one.
Yeah.
Another thing too is that the distortion in general, in all ways, seems to be evaporating.
Yeah,
yeah.
it does.
Yeah. So there's, and it's moving very rapidly. So everything from those things that served us up to a certain point, like maybe the solstice of last year, the winter solstice, or 11/11, 2019, the yogi guru books, courses, and all this type of stuff. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it seems like we raised our awareness, and by that raised awareness, have a higher perspective. And to your point and what you wrote, to resource ourselves versus, kind of clearing up the distortion of having to go somewhere outside of ourselves to find ourselves, basically. And then also with what's happening in the world, it's like seamlessly this stuff is falling apart. It's all breaking down.
Yeah, and to that, and to that point is that, as we each nourish and nurture and love ourselves, we know that that's our true resource.
Yeah.
Is that coming into self-love and self-nurturance.
Yeah.
And practicing that and embodying that more and more and more and more until we fully embody it. I know I'm not there yet, but certainly getting there. But that is, I've been getting the same thing and have been for a while in regards to the guru.
Yeah.
The you know better than I do,
Yeah.
and disempowerment game.
Yeah. Disempowerment. Yeah.
Disempowerment.
Yeah. Yeah. Vera Ingeborg downloaded some stuff, and those of us who've been following her know how organic and raw her stuff is. It was community, creating a safe space, and empowerment being the new paradigm or the new frequency, and we always fall short with these words that we use.
Right.
But yeah, I find that it's, these people that are questioning themselves are the ones that are awake. You know what I mean? The ones who actually say, I'm not there yet. It's the ones that have all the answers that I'm less likely to resonate.
Gone is the master. Like, it's gone. Like, gone is the master that has enslaved us. Gone. Blessed for everything that it served each and every one of us. Embraced in the beautiful love and the light. And so recognizing even those spaces and places that may still reside in us that still hold a small thread of that, trusting and knowing in your own inner strength and brilliance to birth that through, to love that through, and to totally accept it, and love it. Because it's waiting for that love.
I like that.
We've been waiting for that love.
Thank you. I like that a lot. I like the way you just bust in there. Thank you.
Like,
I knew it was trying to come out. But you know that.
Time to celebrate, man. Like,
Woo! I thought I was getting lit up yesterday. Now I'm starting to get lit up again. I also got this master thing you're talking about. Includes all the programming. What I mean by that is all the propaganda, all the programming of the scare tactics of everything from, you know, genetic manipulation to GMOs, to chemtrails, to transhumanism, to all these boogeyman stories. They're just another master that was controlling us, period.
yeah,
You know?
it's just like cutting, it's a laser light through, through that. It's soft, right? In coming into that just brilliance, just lasering it through, just to be in that beautiful space and cut through all that
And that's what the whales look like. They were going.
yeah, that's what again that yeah, I feel that with going back to the diagram, going back to the waves, and there's one frequency coming in like that, and it just feels like that. It's just
Yeah. Do you have a drum?
I do.
I think you're supposed to get your drum. I don't know why.
I looked at my drum. This is a newer drum. I haven't played her very long.
Thank you. That was the message. Wow. Where'd you get that?
I got it in Peña del Bernal in Mexico.
Hmm. Boy, that's deep. That looks like a hologram
Yeah, it does.
inside. Yeah. That's some strong medicine right there.
I love the back of it too. So yeah, I just got this in January. So that's another amazing Stargate place coming online that I actually learned about a week after I got back from Egypt, my first Egypt trip. So Bernal, it's a monolithic mountain. I feel like we talked about this. Did we talk about this the last time?
Yes. Oh, yes. That's where you went. And was it you? I get mixed up. There's too many. But somebody went over.
It's
Yeah.
it's an amazing place.
I'm thinking of Kamara Ford.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling like let me see if I can find a picture of her.
This
Yeah,
isn't. Is this on the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico?
no, it's not. It's actually near Querétaro, Mexico. Don't ask me to spell it.
I won't.
Let's see.
What is that?
That's her.
That's not even a. Oh my God.
That's the backside of her.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I was there, there's actually a community that's being built, a self-sustainable off-grid community that's being built there that I just happened to find. But yeah, when I went to visit them and the backside of the mountain, I'm like, oh, it's a Stargate.
Yeah. Querétaro.
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 So this is actually Bernal. So it's about 30 minutes outside.
Hmm. Wow.
It's just a picture of the little square there.
Beautiful.
The town itself is maybe 3,000 people. And yeah, so I feel like it's well, when I was there too, I was linking it up. I could feel it being linked up with Shasta.
Yeah. Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great little place. Yeah. It's like show and tell, Todd.
Yes.
It is, it's like bringing that playfulness.
So there's another issue popping up that I think is falling away with that whole master frequency that served us, right? And that is these stories that continue to be propagated. Good and evil, light and dark. I mean, we have dominion. We are sovereign. We are sovereign. We are divine. Infinite power, infinite intelligence. Resource yourself. That story doesn't serve anymore.
Right.
It just doesn't serve anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't feel it. I've talked to a few people and I can't recall everything, my own experiences, whatever, especially recently, where this particular entity presented itself. We have the ability to discern what is and what isn't. And certainly in all accounts, whether standing before a demon or an angel, we hold dominion. We are sovereign. We are made in the image. Those stories can, in my opinion, can continue to be told, but they're going to fall flatter and flatter and flatter. You know, mastery, it's either we're giving our power up or we are being further enhancing our power.
I agree. And what I'm just also getting, and it's important for us to, again, the language, it's valid and it's beneficial and it's worthwhile for us to continue to be that way shower, that, you know, gatekeeper, to continue to feed and to nourish that as well. Yeah. And when you were saying that, what I was also getting is that it's also a value as each person walks through, moving through that, it still is a value to them.
Yes.
To be able to tell their story.
Yes.
To be able to speak that part of it.
True.
And yet I can only speak from my own experience of walking through that, and sometimes still walking through that, is not getting stuck in the story. Whereas if we don't know, then, you know, if we don't know that we can make it to where you're talking about, we can get stuck and continue to repeat that cycle.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're all, eventually we're all going to move past that. We're all moving past that. It's just a matter of time and everyone catching up.
Yeah. Nice. Very good. Is there anything you want to do before we head out, or, you know, is there anything else that you feel that resonates with you, or say?
Thank you, Soulogy. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Morgan. Oh, I think you froze. And thank you, everyone who is here. Thank you to everyone watching. Thank you for everyone living. Thank you to everyone for being you and bringing your best parts of you forward, and loving those parts of you that still need love, and keep loving. Let's keep loving and sharing, and just sending out a love blessing. Shu Sai Shu Kayan. To the element of air, water, and earth. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
And so it is. You're an amazing, beautiful, beloved sister. Thank you for you and many, many sisters around the world who've done this work for so long without any recognition, carrying sacred wisdom, doing the good work, holding space, nurturing, and being the power that is returned through y'all. Y'all are anchoring it. And as I've learned, she's got to go first before he can. So
there's that she.
Yeah, that's the big she. You take care. I'd love to do it again anytime. Just let me know.
All right.
Anytime.
Love you. Love, yeah. Much love. Love you.
You take care.
Everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Robin.